this will go. Oh, don't do this. I don't hate you. I don't hate you now. So tell me now, this ain't love, then how do we get out? 'Cause I don't know. Hello guys, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Hearts of Iron. We haven't been here for about, a week now. 2 weeks? Can't remember. A little while anyway, because I was working on Monday. And before that, I wasn't really feeling it. We did a short stream, didn't we? So, yeah. Having to very slowly load this because I need to actually go into the game. Because of an issue with Hearts of Iron. Basically, now, for some weird reason, unless I boot it whilst I've got the stream running, it just gives me a black screen. So, I don't know what's going on there. But while it loads, we can have a little chat about stuff and things. Don't know really what about stuff and things. Stuff anyway. Oh, it's loaded. Excellent. I can stop talking about stuff and things. Pretty much spent today just chilling and watching the Sonic Mania web discussion, Steam discussion, which is quite interesting. If you like the constant flood of people trying to talk about De Novo, despite not really knowing anything about De Novo. Yes. It's an interesting one. Right, I can't even remember what was going on. We seem to have a bit of an invasion going on over in the Isle of Dogs? Is that the Isle of Dogs? No, the Isle of... It's not the Isle of Man. Don't think. Anyway, it's this weird island here that's sort of in the middle. Germany and Italy have decided to live there or something. That's going to need more invadingness. Oh, it's control click. Wait, no, it's control click. And I get that. Okay. Right. Oh yeah, and okay, it saved it. Oh right, so the last save was around Ghent. Okay, and now we have learned something about Ghent, and that is basically don't push forward too hard. At least not until you've got a decent foothold. This must be after we lost. Oh right, okay. Can I get them to assist in naval bombardments? Probably not. Why is that one going that way? I've no idea. We need more units. I think this is. I think the big case is we need more units, like yesterday, and as a result, oh for goodness sake, why did you? So motorised divisions over there. Right. Okay. I've got three planes in reserves. That's fine because I know I've got. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, that's fine, and that's fine. So that's everyone that we're at war with. Right, okay. Also, I want to go into my research. Oh, I might need the Valentine first. You see, I've been playing quite a lot of not World of Tanks, what's the other one? War Thunder recently. Because War Thunder has a far better damage model when it comes to tanks. And as a result, because I've been messing around with the British tanks, they've got some rather nice little tanks in there. So the Valentine, yeah, Valentine has the Archer. The Archer is a hilarious tank. It's kind of born from the basic idea of Britishness, and that's the only way I can really describe. Yeah, I've lost Ghent. That's fine. Yeah, this thing it's just born from true Britishness, where you have a tank hull, and you want to put a big gun on it to make it a tank destroyer. But if you put a big gun on it, because the position of the turret is as far forward as possible, it means that if you put your turret on in the normal sense of the word, or even if you build it like a tank destroyer, you have your cannon sticking out, and it's almost as long as the tank itself. So the solution for this is to put the turret on the other way around. So you've got the gun pointing backwards. Now, because it's a big gun, you can't have it on a proper turret because it wouldn't work particularly well. So you have a fixed mounting on the back, or on the front of the Valentine. Oh, I've lost Gibraltar. Oh, damn it. I've been kicked out of Gibraltar. Okay, now I'm having to invade Spain. Actually, that might be a better avenue, thinking about it. If I went down... If I invaded Spain, I could then cut up from France from below, possibly? There's an idea. I didn't realise Spain were against me. Right, okay. This army... Yes. I am going to create a new order. So, I want to... Oh, God. Naval invasion order. Starting out of Portsmouth. So I click the invasion source. I have to relearn all this stuff. And then I want to go in what looks like avocado but isn't. Right click to set the invasion destination. Excellent. This is not a valid province for the invasion. Why not? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Oh, it might be because I... Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yep. That's fine. And then... and then I activate the plan when we're ready. Insufficient naval superiority in the region. Okay. So let's fix that. I need a spare fleet of some description. Where's all my fleets? Where are all my fleets? Thinking about it. Got none there. Got fleets. Oh, here we go. The submarine flotilla needs to be hanging around a patrol in the Bay of Biscay. We then need to create a the Western Approaches fleet can go and deal with the Iberian coast. Oh God, patrol. Yeah, patrol down here. And I think I can also do shift right close on the that one. Wait. Wait, what? Yeah. All I need is the Iberian coast. Yeah, that's fine. And that's the one that I'm having trouble with. Okay, right, we're good. We are good. Vaguely. I've got 3 civilian factories, which means that I need to build more stuff. I'm going to build one of those in there. And maybe a civilian factory. Maybe a couple more military factories. And a radar site would be an idea. There we go. No, national focus set. Oh yeah, because we got the Maud committee. Yeah, we'll definitely do secret weapons. I'm big on secret weapons back then. But yeah, so this archer. Let's talk about the archer again, because I think it is a very oh, it's like the mosquito, the de Havilland mosquito, in that it was a type of vehicle that ended up being used for an awful lot of weird and wonderful things. And the archer was put onto the Valentine chassis, and then so you got this fixed turret with the gun pointing backwards, which means that you can put a certain amount of gimbal into the turret itself, meaning you do actually have quite a lot of field of view, which is quite surprising for a tank destroyer. The downside is, especially in War Thunder, so the only way to fire the gun is to turn the tank around, which puts the engine and the fuel tank and most of the ammunition in a place that's rather accessible for other tanks to shoot at. So it's a very sneaky gun. It's a very sneaky anti-tank weapon, because you don't want to be in the eye, as it were, because your armour is weak behind and your shots are just going to go straight through and take out your ammunition, which is why I never go full loaded either. I go loaded for tanks, not for bear, basically. Right, okay, so what else is there to do right now? How's that? Wait, what? Naval invasion order. There. Ooh, I could come in at Brest, couldn't I? Let's try it on the tip instead. Right click to invade. And yeah. Oh, maybe I needed to do that to sort of confirm it. Yeah, so we're going to attack in 24 days, about a month, which is actually quite a short time for an invasion when you think about it. So I've been thinking about more streams that I could possibly do, partly because I want to start getting back into games development. So I've been kind of toying around with the idea of doing what I would consider to be like a silent stream. Obviously not silent, it would be I'll put some music on or something. So I'll be able to do games development, and you know, it would be a sort of a reason for me to kind of do it. Be reasonably late at night or possibly early in the morning, depending on where in the world you are. Just sort of more of a chill experience, and then possibly, kind of, I'm sort of thinking ahead here, toying with the ideas, and then from that, if I get any questions in the chat, anything interesting that pops up, I can then do a dedicated video on that subject. Well, I was kind of toying around with the idea. If you like the idea, just kind of let me know. I would quite like to know. And we have a small war going on in the English Channel. We've got a very big war happening in the world, but we've got a small war going on in the English Channel. Yeah, they're sort of, well, we're getting ready to invade, and I don't really have the thing is with England, you don't really have the manpower or the weapons really to just invade everywhere. I think the idea of this system, the battle plan system, is that you can have several armies all set up and all preparing, and then you kind of sweep down and invade. Ooh, I have the illustrious class. I don't really know much about ships. This may come up a fair amount. I know about the new ships because they're a complete waste of money, but not much about the old ones. Obviously I know like the oh god, the name escapes me. Campbell Town, which was a World War I destroyer that was given some fame, but about actual ships I know next to nothing about. Oh, and the little patrol boats, which you still see some of them poodling around the Thames these days. Sort of just wooden boats, really, that were sent as escorts to Campbell Town on its final voyage. But yeah, other than that, ships are not really my thing. I know that there's a pointy bit at one end and there's a flat bit at the other, and it moves on water, but other than that, not huge. not a huge fan of ships. Now, hovercraft, that's a different matter. Hovercraft are very interesting things, and it's a real shame we got rid of our hovercraft channel ferries. They went out from Dover, I believe, and yeah, we had cross-channel hovercraft. And yeah, they could carry cars and they could carry passengers, and it was a very, very fast way of getting from A to B. But unfortunately, they were quite expensive and quite I wouldn't say unreliable, but if something did go wrong, they were quite complicated. A boat is a rather more simple thing to fix usually, whereas there's an awful lot of moving parts with the hovercraft, which basically means that if something goes wrong, then you might be a bit stuffed. But yeah, ships and stuff. Right, okay. Is that battle plan ready yet? I don't have the. Do I have that? Go, just go. We've got supremacy. Just move. Right, so we're going to come round into Brest. Sorry. Take Brest. And see how much of this that we can actually get hold of. Canada. Of all countries, Canada and Spain are occupying France. There sort of comes this point where the game goes a little bit historically interestingly. And now they've cancelled the lend. Oh, yeah, that's typical America. That is. Everything has strings where America were concerned. Everything. They weren't content with just dropping nuclear weapons on themselves later on. Everything had a price. To the point where. Yeah, the whole destroyers for bases thing just kind of went a little bit out of control when we had Greenham Common, which is an area in England which used to house some of America's nuclear weapons, and every so often the Russians turn up to inspect the site to ensure that nuclear weapons are no longer being stored at that site. I mean, Greenham Common as it is just a reasonably overgrown military base that's used for various little things nowadays. It's, you know, it's just sort of parkland pretty much. You wouldn't really reliably be able to launch a nuclear missile from there these days. It's just dilapidated. But because of the conditions between... Ooh, boo. Boo to yourself as well. Yeah, because the conditions between Russia and America and all these contracts basically mean that every so often Russian ambassadors or inspectors pop up into the United Kingdom just to make sure we're not storing America's nuclear weapons here. I assume they do the same with Cuba. Well, maybe not. Right, well, to those of you that have joined, I am currently attempting and probably failing to invade Brest, which is probably not how you pronounce it, but hopefully this will be my way into the German Reich. Probably not though, because I am only playing as Britain. We don't really have the clout nowadays that we did back in the Victorian times. Which makes it rather funny when we spend, I think it was 2 billion, doesn't actually sound that much thinking about it. But we spend a lot anyway on these new aircraft carriers that can deploy 20 something, oh, I can't remember the numbers, but it's like, yeah, they have space for 40 aircraft, and you know, they've got the new fangled radar systems and sonar systems, and never mind the fact that we can't actually use them because we've got no aircraft on them. But, you know, and they sort of wandered into Portsmouth during a time of austerity, and look at what we can spend out all of our money on. Oh, you can't afford it. Yeah, I've got a lot of problems with the Britain's new aircraft carriers. Submarines, not so much, but the aircraft carriers, I don't see much point in them. They're a symbol of a bygone age, I suspect. Something that's not really that useful. Now, if they were going to put aircraft into submarines, that would be a different matter. It has been done before. Didn't go well. The experimental submarine that had the aircraft on did sink, and they suspect it was directly because of the aircraft, or rather than the doors, the hangar doors. But it's Britain. Oh, that's part of Northern Ireland, I think. Oh God, I don't want to invade. Cancel that. I don't want them to invade. I don't want them to invade Northern Ireland. I need them to, well, just be there. Be there for now, it's fine. Oh God, what's happening down here? Italy apparently are trying to invade near enough Norwich. That's going to go interestingly for them. Technically, I guess that's the north of England. Because, yeah, I'm a Londoner, so anything north of the M25, as we well know, is the north. So Italy are currently trying to invade the north of England, and that's not going particularly well for them, because Northerners don't want to give up their, I don't know, large meals. It's something that I noticed moving from London to the Midlands, is that your portion sizes get larger, but the price goes down, which I find all very, very strange, because you go into London and it's really, really expensive, and ooh, I've got the boys' anti-tank rifle, finally. Right, what else can let's get the Sterling. The upgrade to the Sten, which were basically just sort of almost like knockoffs to the German thingy. Hola to Julian. That's Spanish, isn't it? I'm just working on invading Spain at the moment. Actually, no, I am currently trying to invade France, but it's going interestingly. Interestingly, in that they don't seem to be doing anything. For goodness sake. No divisions, no units. Why are you not control click? Thank you. Right. Oh, because I think it nips into Bay of Biscay. Second World War was really, really complicated. New Zealand division, the Achilles, and these are probably terrible ships to be sending into here, but I do need to send them on patrol into the Bay of Biscay. Or Biscay. Biscuit? I don't know. And oh God, what the? I did not. Wait, really? Did not see that happening. That is currently owned by Italy. I really do need to pay more attention. Well, not to worry. Once why are you expanding out? How are you expanding out? When I finish completely messing up this, it might be the last week, maybe next week. Yeah, I am planning on the next game that I do on these streams being Stellaris, because I think that's a really sort of fun grand strat. And I think I think instead of doing it on top of Heartsfire, I'll do it instead of. We'll kind of see how things go. But yeah, I've discovered quite a lot about Stellaris that I didn't know before. That works in a slightly similar way to how sort of like unit design and all that. So I'm kind of interested to see see slow us a little bit more. So yeah, when we really do completely mess this up by completely failing to notice that Italy are doing something for once in their lives, then yeah, we'll move over at some point. Right, I need something that's going to help my infantry. So that's going to do that. Research log available? No. And oh, because that was they were being. It's Anglia. Let's move them to Sussex. They're just pumping out units, I think. Should have a tank unit ready soon. 3 factories, 2 more factories. That's going to be fun when we get the next upgrade. Pump out a couple of more of those. And get some more forts. Something which you don't really notice about England these days is that there are still quite a lot of remnants of these forts all over the place. And the Admiralty being a good example of one that's smack bang in the centre of London, and it's built to be a fort. And it's been there for, I don't know, it's been there for 100 years or so. Got all these little nooks and crannies left over from, you know, before the First World War, some of them. They've been there for a long while, and they've been upgraded as needed, and yay, we have the Valentine. Interesting vehicle, the Valentine, let's just put it that way. I found it very slow in War Thunder, considering it's meant to be a light tank, compared to something like the Cromwell, which is meant to be sort of a medium tank, and that's actually quite fast. In fact, in the book that I'm reading, we've just got to the hold on. Would I want? Well, let's get that. Yeah, it's something that I don't know. Just grab it. Really, really good book. This it's Troop Leader by Bill Bellamy, and you know, I was talking about speed of these tanks to an American. And I'm just going to see if I can find the page. So it's really interesting thing that does very much demonstrate the speeds of some of these vehicles. No, I think it's before then. It's after the pictures. Really, really nice photos that he took. Mostly of Cromwell's and the officers. There's a really nice one actually of a flail tank that was taken in a Normandy village because there was an awful lot of mines all over the place. And yeah, so he got one of the flail, and he got one of a Challenger that they were recovering. Don't really. I think this is why quite a lot of these games are really important, because it really does highlight some of the... Ah, yeah, here we go. As he mentions Bovington. Because Bovington was where they trained an awful lot of these... a lot of the tank drivers were trained in Bovington, or there was an awful lot of work done in Bovington anyway. So basically, they ended up accidentally driving their troop into the middle of a German position. And they've got these 88mm guns, which were both used as anti-aircraft and anti-tank. God, these guys, they're really dug in. I'm going to lose this battle. Italy is going to take it soon, but yeah, this may be the last we see of the United Kingdom. From here forth, we will be forced to eat good food, and drink good drinks as well, I suspect. But yeah, but he talks about how the Cromwell tank that he's in, basically they have to get out of this field, and the only way out is over a canal. And instead of just sort of swinging the canal, they jump over it. They hit it at about 20 miles an hour apparently, and it's a 20-foot wide canal with a little bit of a ramp up, so they could actually get over the top. Oh, I've lost London to the Italians, but there's not a huge amount I can do because I really do not have the manpower to hold them back. I can move them into there. They'll be a little bit. Got to take these footholds, but I've apparently got outdated equipment in production as well. I've lost production. I've lost some of my factories. I think this might be. Yeah, that's that one. And light tank destroyer needs to be the Archer. Not that I can really do much at this point, because in most, in a lot of the sort of real-time strategies, what you would do is just quickly train a dozen or so units to hold the enemy back. You can't do that in a grand strategy. You kind of realise, I know at this point I'm fighting a losing battle. Italy have got too many ports now. I might be able to nick Dover back. Yep, I've managed to get Dover back. I might be able to get the ports back from them, but we are now fighting a losing battle at this stage. I'm not going to give up, but this is definitely a losing battle, and Stellaris may have to replace it. We'll make the British Empire in space, and that totally won't go wrong. Excellent. I have now researched some ships. When right now I need land doctrine and support and infantry stuff and universal carrier, which was an excellent invention. And I'm really not kidding there. It really was an excellent invention. 1941. Let's get that up, because if I survive this, I will need that. A universal carrier was a sort of a tracked vehicle that was meant to be very much like a car to drive. Let's take Norwich back. Oh god. I've patrol. Come on. They can't be that strong. Is there anything here that's going to help me? Just help me. I could develop South Africa. Yeah, that's not going to help me at all. Convoy escort focus, carrier battleship focus. Let's have some battleships. Yeah, Italy are being a little bit communist on me at the moment. Which really, you know, they don't have to invade me to make this place communism. All they need to do is wait. Britain became communist to a certain extent, or socialist, I should say. It was about 70s, I think, 60s, 70s, when Thatcher, basically. An awful lot of stuff is Thatcher's fault. Could I nip into... Could I get London back? See if we can push them out. And... Fall of Pearl Harbor, excellent. So now the Americans might want to help. Do patrols in English Channel. If we can get the English Channel back, we might have a chance. I think they're starting to lose their momentum a bit now. A bit. I think thanks to getting Dover, it has started to starve them. Oh God, Soviet Union's gone. Lost Soviet Union. Quite frankly, I don't know how I'm hanging on right now. God, Hull is owned by Italy. Oh, good God. Maybe that's why it's such a... Though I hear Hull has actually got... They have actually put quite a lot of money into Hull. Ooh, got the atomic research. I think this means that I can now do reactors in 1943. I could do with getting decryption done. Clicked out of there. Let's take Hull back and hope that we get the Sterling Mark 1 before we get all wiped out, basically. What on earth? Those are American planes? Why are American planes flying over? Oh God, we've got maybe all of those equipment in. Okay. Let's get those Hurricanes in the air. Didn't realise we had a load of yeah. I've got no navy left at this stage. Well, I've got barely any navy left. It's quite a surprise for Italy to be doing something, to be honest. Oh, good God, they're landing everything. Okay, so the German Reich... Oh, so, yeah, United States are finally in the fight. As I attempt to stop... Oh, God. How am I going to do this? Now, they need time to recuperate, I would assume. And, unfortunately, they don't. Yay! I've got the Sterling and anti-tank rifles and rockets. Okay. Never mind that we didn't really use bazookas. I'm just going to do a oh, what else do we do? We got to 1941. Probably should start looking at getting anti-tank. Anything that's anti-tank now. Not that they've really got tanks, but I can't see what they have. Got so little intel. Let's see if we can get some more forts up. Apparently I've got... Oh, yeah. Let's get these. Anything else that's outdated? Not really. I just don't have the factories for some reason. Wait, what? I don't know. I think I took them all back, didn't I? Might need to build more. Don't really know. But yeah, I need more units. Oh, damn it. My location's got changed. And I also need to actually spend some of this experience that I'm getting. I'm going to edit my tank brigade, and I'm going to add another light tank. Ooh. Could I do like maybe a mobile battalion of mechanized infantry? That seems alright, and then maybe go into my production of the Archer or the Valentine. Let's create a variant of the Valentine with I'm being designed to... Oh, because it's army, I need to do it on, like, the, Spitfire. And then I also need to do it on maybe one of these destroyers. Ooh. Let's do it on here, and let's increase my reliability, beef up the guns, beef up the engines, and then let's create some centurions. Yes, yes I do. It's going to take me 5 years for one, but I can boost that. Okay, it's only going to take me 1.5 years for one. Which is why we tend not to build super heavy battleships. Ever. Slowly, I think, starting to get some purchase. Well, yeah, that. I don't have any more units, do I? I have an entire. Yeah, the Italians have been extremely competent, and it's slightly concerning. I do wonder what the Germans have done to them. I'm thinking mecha Italians, possibly, because there are way too many Italians here for this to be completely normal. That one I might win. See if we can then cut around and get rid of all this. It's not going to work, is it? Well, worst comes to worst, there's always Stellaris. This may be the end for the United Kingdom. We did fight well. Yeah, I can think of a few ways in which I probably messed up. Not having the production there in the first place for... I needed far more troop production going, which I just didn't have. And see if we can get some more radars up. Mechanized. Mechanized equipment. Yeah, now we've got 26,000 guns to make. I think this is certainly the end. I think I've lost too much. Lost too much here. I mean, the army's getting quite a lot of experience from this, oddly enough. Yeah, I think I messed up in fairly early game, but just not having enough units, and so when we lost when we lost France up here, I think had I maybe hit it from if I had more units and hit it from multiple locations, I might have been able to break that deadlock and expand out. I just did not have the units to spare because I hadn't made them. I hadn't made enough. And at this stage we've got complete We've lost Scotland at this point. I can't save Scotland. I can hit them again and again, but I'm just not getting anywhere. That's the thing. There's too many of them. Too many of them. I've got a Spanish division just out here, just chilling. Yeah, this is the end of it, England. 1943 we got to. So now we will be cursed with good food and good drink and good music, and doesn't seem that bad after all. This is 1940s. We like to boil everything. Not a good time. If you want to think about it another way, it's the EU early. It's the EU has come early in a strange way. Except that, of course, the EU was born from a willingness not to have this sort of thing happen ever again. Try getting in there again. Try restarting. I think next I'm going to do Stellaris. There's something just a little bit different. I kind of want to. I want to explore Stellaris, and I think the stream's a good place to do it. Ooh, forget the Piet. Awesome gun. But we'll see. I'm still doing research. My 1943. We can get. Let's get the tortoise. The tortoise. Never really used. I don't think it was ever used actually. Tortoise. It's kind of like the mouse, just like a very, very big tank that never really got used. Yeah, slower, severe problems with soft ground, and few British can hope to can't handle their weight. As a result, completely useless as it turns out. Who would have thought? Yeah, we're done. We are definitely done. Give me a second. Not much point in fighting anymore. I'm just kind of watching England become green. Reset the game. Not much point now. As I said, I think, you know, it was always sort of part of the plan to sort of jump through different series. And yeah, I'm just now watching Italy become green, and then I'm gonna do something else for a little bit, for about half hour. I have a small plan. Vaguely, ish. Partly I need to get some more of the sauce, and by sauce I mean apple and mango squash. Got a unit up here that's actually managing to survive somehow. They've just ended up in a random region with a fort. One of the few forts that I have left, I suspect. And yeah, they're just holding out. The Tider key didn't do anything. Oh, no. No, doesn't do anything. I am on Iron Man mode. There are no cheats. There are no, you know, I literally put this on the hardest mode possible just to see what would happen, to see if I could actually manage to do it. Mainly because if you play it on normal mode, what usually happens is that you get to about 1941. Once you send a small unit out to France, everybody sort of joins in, and it's very, very easy to do. And the whole idea of putting it on hard was just to see what happened, ultimately. And yeah, and somehow, bizarrely, considering how much the British people, anyway, rag on about Italians being completely useless in World War II. There's that age-old joke of Hitler being mortified when he hears that Italy has joined the war with Axis. And the other joke of the fact that Italian tanks only have one gear, that's reverse. So, you know, even though, you know, we joke about Italy being completely useless throughout the entirety of World War II, I have been defeated by Italy. So, give me a moment. I'm going to switch games. Hopefully this will work. So, what I will do is, I used to have a scene for it. Oh, yep, I do have. Yeah, it's cheap. It's nasty. Right, what I'm going to do is I need another drink. I'm going to go on for another half hour. So till 9:30, and I'm going to fire up something else. So I'll be right back. I'll see if I've got some. Oh, I can put on some Portal stuff. Hold on, let me just see if I can find the Portal OST. I can put that on. No, not films. Cole Porter, no. Yeah, Portal 2. Here we go. Hello everyone. Yeah, this wasn't actually my plan, and then I thought, I haven't played defcon in a while, and I do just need something that's gonna last for about half an hour or so. So let's start a new game in defcon. What could possibly go wrong? I'm gonna do it against a couple of AI. Oh god, how do you... No. Let me start when you hit ready. Hold on. Okay, give me a sec. Yeah, it is a new game. Close those, I don't want that. That'll be, yeah, that'll be fine. Ready. So, welcome everyone to defcon. Very, very simplistic looking game. And I really do just need to quickly... yeah, okay. Just needed to do that. And also just change... Oh god, I can't spell defcon. There we go. So, yeah, defcon is a game that's made by a company called Introversion. Now, who am I? There we go. Basically, what happens is you place down your buildings so as to cover as much space as you possibly can. There are some things you can and can't do. So these silos that I'm placing down, you place them down in and they will be in a sort of an anti-missile mode. So as we're counting down from defcon 5 to 1. Oh god, I've got to place my units down. Right, let me just quickly do my fleets. Right, okay, I've done my fleets and done my units. Okay, so basically you have to very, very quickly place your units and your fleets. And then you can send them off around the world. They will move very, very slowly. Because they are, after all, fleets. So, yeah, this is a game about thermal... you know, no beating around the bush. This is a game about thermonuclear war. Pure and simple. It's very strange playing it like this. We can't look at the grand strategy side of doing things where you've got individual units and you are still playing around with large numbers of people ultimately. With this, it's reasonably detached. This strange idea that you will kill millions of people per hit, and yet you are strangely detached from that. So, yeah, so the whole idea, so I'm playing with South America at the moment. So you place your units, you basically aren't really allowed to do anything until you hit defcon 1, at which point you would expect the world would just light up in a sea of destruction. And yet, not really. We've got our people map. I hope I've set this up correctly. We'll find out when we get to defcon 1. I don't know if I have actually. Hold on. I may not have set this up right. I'm going to leave the game. Because I could have sworn... Ah, yeah, I hadn't set it up properly. I need to add CPU players. There we go. Now when we go in, it will actually... yeah. We'll actually have enemies to fight. So yeah, start defcon 5. we need to start getting our units down. So I'm playing as Africa now. And as we know, Africa did used to have nuclear weapons. Destroyed years ago, but they did have a nuclear weapons program for a little while. Oh, South Africa. Oh God, no. Right, okay. So now let's get our radars down. We've got 7 radar to play with. We want it to be reasonably near sort of built up areas and also as close to the borders as we can, but we don't really want to have any sort of blind spots either. So, and I've got 1 left, so let's put it right on that tip there. The silos. Silos are placed in an anti-missile mode, as I said, first. So, but you can convert them into firing missiles. But if you've got incoming missiles and you need to switch them over to air defense mode, it takes time. And last thing, get some air bases up. These will deploy fighters and bombers, and you've got a finite number of everything. You've got a finite number of missiles, air defences, missiles in here, all that sort of jazz. So I've got some units coming up here, and let's get those guys over there. So yeah, once the missiles start flying, the fun really then starts. This is a game made by Introversion, which they're very well known for making very nice looking games. But all their games are different in some ways. So their first game was about hacking. Then we had was it Defcon and then I can't remember if it was Defcon and then Darwinia. Actually, I think it was Darwinia first. Then we had Multi-Winia at some point. Defcon. Prison Architect, of course, being their most of known one. So those submarines are now going to hopefully take out those submarines. You've got a little bit of tension going on. And you would think when you hit something like Defcon 1, then all the missiles will start flying, but actually no, not really. What you will see is quite a lot of tension involved. A lot of people just kind of trying out different things. We've got a bit of range here. How do I space deselect the unit? Change units. Yeah, that's how we do our bombers. So I'm going to just launch some bombers, hopefully. Oh, it's got to convert over to bomber launch mode, and then it should be able to do it. We are now in Defcon 2. At this point, basically everyone's trying to... Okay, let's try and get these radar out. But we can't launch the nuclear missiles before Defcon 1. And you just kind of got this haunting music behind it. It's an extraordinary game. I do recommend picking this one up. It's a very sort of haunting game. And it's just the detachment. It's, you know, missile lands on Cairo and it might be, you know, so we've got, so yeah, Cairo, population 26.1 million people. Missile lands on that and it will just pop up with, you know, how many millions have died per hit. not something that we'll see ever, I don't think. And I know there's an awful lot of tension about North Korea at the moment, but frankly it's nothing really to worry about, I don't think. North Korea is not going to start a thermonuclear war, at least at the very least, because China will stand back and say, well, okay, you caused this problem, now you're gonna damn well fix it. So yes. So in 1.5 minutes we then enter the next stage, which nothing really happens if you're smart. Defcon 2 is basically an awful lot of people just kind of trying it on, seeing what they can do. We've got fighters coming overhead, which the air defence silos are just shooting down. And I am just literally waiting. Launch is detected. Player 2 has launched. Which is fine, because I will also be launching my missiles. Or at least that one will be launching in a little while. Launch is detected over there. We've got, yeah, basically got, yeah. Now we've got some nukes coming in. Oh, player 1 is 15 points ahead. You gain points for killing people, and you lose points for losing people. So actually, in this game, it's one of those games where actually you win by not necessarily fighting. You can turtle and do quite well. And if you end up with, yeah, there we go. So player 3 city used to have a population of, well, about 1 million people. They've lost about 500,000 people out there. Yeah, London, 8.5 million dead. So yes, a very, very sobering game, very, very haunting one. But actually a reasonably sort of decent little strategy that's like 85 meg large. I literally downloaded it in a couple of seconds. But well worth going back to after the debacle, which was Italy. We need to, and the way I play this is pretty much by denying the enemy of their resources, shooting down their bombers, shooting down their aircraft, and then trying to work out when is the best time to launch and by which ones. So this one, I think I'm going to start launching some missiles out of it. Player 3's just launched missiles. So next Monday, actually we may as well talk about it while we're waiting for the missiles to land. Next Monday we will start our campaign, Stellaris campaign, at least this is the plan. Start the Stellaris campaign, playing as Space Britain probably, and seeing if we can conquer the Space Italians. We'll see what happens there. and yeah, I am sort of considering doing some sort of quiet streams as they were, as it is. Where I basically just put on some music and get on with some work, and then maybe pull some stuff out of there, questions that sort of arise from what I'm doing there. As for videos, I don't have much in the way planned for that. I have the DeZero video that went up today about Sonic Mania, which has been an interesting day of reading those forums. I don't necessarily see the problems per se. I see people's points of view, and I see the fact that Sega really should have disclosed the fact that DeZero was in the game. But it's not going to threaten people's hardware that it's in the game, basically. So yeah, we'll kind of just wait and see what happens. If anybody has been waiting for an update on the Alex Mayer situation, there is none. I've been monitoring her Twitter every so often. I think she's going for an insanity plea based off what's being portrayed on her Twitter, but other than that, there's no information about that at all. Just like there's no real information about like the Saga no Card situation or the Bearing situation, or any number of those little court cases that are going on at the moment. Well, in the case of Bearing situation, not court case, it's an issue over copyright, which is something that can be easily fixed by the party who's using his copyright erroneously by just taking down the video or him using a DMCA. These are the situations which I'm perfectly fine with people using DMCAs for, because that's the purpose it was designed for. Unfortunately, it's a tool that can be abused, and it is abused a lot. And that plane is hopefully going to die. That missile is probably going... maybe that one. No, yeah, just lost another. But that is heading... that's going to be destroyed, I think. Or if not destroyed, then it's going to be sort of damaged. And they're certainly not coming out of the bunker anytime soon. Like, was it Castle Bravo incident? America tested a load of nuclear weapons back in the day. Was it 70s or so? 50s to 70s anyway. And one of the infamous tests was the Castle Bravo test, in which they used lithium as their radioactive component to make it go boom. And they didn't quite understand the properties of lithium before putting it into a bomb. And unfortunately, the bomb was far more powerful than they expected, and some of the bunkers that were meant to be monitoring the explosion, that should have been outside of the blast radius, or outside of the radiation radius at least, they had to actually be evacuated. They didn't have radiation suits because they didn't need them, because nobody expected the radiation the fallout to spread out that far. But they had to run to the helicopters with sheets over their heads to try and sort of keep the worst off them. And there were ships out in the bay that were affected, and they were on lockdown to the point where anybody opening a hatch, basically the soldiers were told that they could use lethal force to stop anybody from opening the hatches. And that was done down here somewhere in the atolls. Bikini Atoll was one of the ones that was affected by all this nuclear testing. And all in all, what did it bring us? Absolutely nothing. The nuclear deterrent, which doesn't work. If it worked, we wouldn't have all these wars that are still going on in this world. Let's launch some more missiles. I'm just going to go full ICBM at this point. Going to completely ruin. At this point, everything wakes up. This is meant to be inspired by the film War Games, which has the line of something along the lines of curious that the only way to win is not to play at all, which is very, very true. Another one on Moscow. Thomas. They've got everything now. One on Leningrad for good measure. Where are my other subs? The trick is to overwhelm the defences. I don't really know what's destroying my subs. Something is. There we go. Missiles are now landing. So many missiles that the defences can't cope. Yeah, London hit 4.4 million dead. Hit Tehran. Bangalore. Pretty much the entirety of Britain at this point. Paris. And only problem is with the white flashes you can't actually see the text. Slight downside of the game. But other than that, it's, yeah. It's one of those games which is not necessarily entertaining, but it is engaging. It's like with this war of mine, I would say. Something nice and dark on a Tuesday evening. Yeah, everyone's at it now. In fact, let's speed it up. Now I've launched everything. In fact, I just found 3 bombers I hadn't launched. Yeah. It's a very, very odd game. Very sobering. And I think I did the right thing by firing as early as I did, because now my silos have now converted back into air defense mode, and so it's not, I think I should get most of the 11.2 from Cairo. Oh yeah, I'm being hit quite a bit. Though I should also say at this stage, but if there's any sort of games that you'd quite like to see me play, by all means drop it down in descriptions of any of my videos and I can have a look at them and see. I've been one YouTuber I really should just make a shout out to actually. It's a YouTuber called Decoherent. He does some, he's American I think, but he does some very good videos on We Have a Few, and yeah, it's fairly similar sort of sense of humour to mine, which is quite sort of, I guess, dark in places. But yeah, he's you know, reasonably small YouTuber. He's only got about 1,000 subs, but you know, if you like sort of watching, well, if you like watching my stuff, then you'll probably enjoy his stuff as well. So yeah, go and give him a look as well. Yeah, we've now got essentially what that's probably going to be about. It's not quite 11 seconds, is it? It's about probably got about 30 seconds left. We actually won in a strange way that nuclear exchange. I mean, Cairo, with 26 million dead. I mean that one didn't actually get touched at all. Khartoum, Kano, yeah, quite a few of them didn't get touched at all. So they are now the new foundation of humanity. And with that, I think I will end this video here. Actually worked out quite well, in that I'm stopping after just under an hour and a half. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching my little escapades with Hearts of Iron. Next week we will start up Stellaris, and so yeah, I'll see you next time if I can find the button to stop it all.